Good evening. I call this meeting of the Bastrop Independent School District to order. Let a record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that a notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. This time, if you would please rise and join us in the pledges and a word of prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
If you'd please remain standing, we have Nick Henderson with us here tonight from River Valley Christian Fellowship. Nick, thank you again for coming out and blessing our meeting.
Thank you. Let's pray. Father God, we come before you humbly, and we thank you for being a great God, a God who loves us so much that you sent your Son to die on the cross for us, and we give you glory and praise for that. Lord, I just thank you so much for our community. I thank you for Bastrop Independent School District. Lord, I just lift up all the students and pray that as they head into the holidays, they'll have a time to relax, to rest, to take a break, to spend time with their family and with their friends, and just to be thankful for what they have and what's going on in their lives, Lord. And to give them time to have that energy and that break so that they can finish this semester well. Lord, I pray for all the teachers, for all the admin that have this break too, all the time that they can get off, that they can take that time to spend time with their family and their friends, and to remember to be thankful to you for what you've done in their lives, Lord. And I pray that you fill their hearts with joy and with kindness over this break so that they can come into the end of this semester and finish well, Lord. And as we head toward Christmas, that you'll just bless that time and that break that we'll have there, Lord. Lord, again, we just thank you so much for all that you do in our lives, Lord. And we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Nick. All right, at this time, Mr. Edwards, would you mind introducing our student speaker, please?
I sure will. Thank you very much. Our student speaker tonight couldn't be with us. However, his principal, being his body double, will do it. He did prepare his presentation. So Mr. Conradery will be filling in for Mr. Ross Lehman, who is a 11th grader at Genesis High School, and he's going to speak on compassion. Just to give Ross his rightly due, he likes to skateboard, video games, music, dancing, and hanging out with his friends. Mr. Conradery. And so do we all.
Yeah, I do. Now, if Ross happens to come in behind me, we'll let him finish this off, okay? So, these are the words of Ross Lehman. November is a month for giving thanks for all the good we have in our lives. It should also be a month that we show compassion and share that good with others. To me, that means caring about my friends, having their back, and treating them like family. When I started at Genesis, I didn't think I would have any friends, but in the time that I've been there, I'm proud to say that I've made friends that show compassion towards me. When I'm down, they cheer me up and they listen to me. They make me laugh and support me when I need help. I found my family. This makes me think of Paul Walker from The Fast and the Furious. The characters work together so long that they become family. They were willing to do anything to help each other out. Vin Diesel's character says, I used to say I live my life a quarter mile at a time, and I think that's why we're brothers, because you did too. No matter where you are, whether it's a quarter mile away or halfway across the world, you'll always be with me, and you'll always be my brother. That's what compassion means to me, being willing to go halfway around the world to help a friend because you care about them. It's important for people to care about each other. We should all show compassion to those around us. So, show some love to your neighbors, friends, and strangers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Edwards, I believe we have some members of the Student Advisory Council here joining us this evening. Would you mind introducing them, please?
I would love to. It's my pleasure, and I'm very proud to introduce you all to Kahan. Was Wake House. He was here last month with us and wanted some more action, so he came back this month.
Hi, I'm Kahan Wakehouse. I attend Bastrop High School. I'm a senior. I play soccer, and I hope to attend Texas State next fall. I'm going to degree in business.
Thank you, Kahan.
Yes.
Also with us this evening from Bastrop High School is Caitlin Ingram.
I'm Caitlin Ingram. I play volleyball. I'm involved in speecho. I run track. I'm in Key Club as well as a couple other organizations.
Thank you, Caitlin. Caitlin's goal on the committee this year is to get the athletic period switched. So I'm just letting Coach Sexton know, Andy Sexton, our athletic director, that she'll be in touch.
Duly noted.
Duly noted. Next, our Cedar Creek High School representative, Hayden Chance.
My name is Hayden Chance. I'm a senior at Cedar Creek High School. I'm actively involved in the marching band, and I find myself in NHS.
Wow, congratulations. Thank you, Hayden.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. At this time, we'll move to our district spotlight. Our presenter is Chico Portillo, Director of Fine Arts. Chico.
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for allowing us to come before you and tell you all the great things that are happening in the fine arts world in BISD. Before I start, I got to give this presentation to the Chamber of Commerce a week or so ago, and just had a great time telling them about philosophically what I believe and what the teachers have bought into believing too. What we feel is like what academics does to feed the brain and what athletics does to feed the body and the teamwork, fine arts does to feed our soul and our creative expression. And it's through that lens that we always want to push our kids to be the best performers possible. Inside the fine arts world, we have 4 big houses, if you want to call them. They are music, dance, art, and theater. Starting with the theater department, usually, I mean, the theater kids do all kinds of things, but really we center around 2 huge projects. The first one is always the musicals, because everyone loves the musicals. We like to go to the musicals. And the other is the one-act play contest, the UIL one-act play. Bastrop Middle School 2 weeks ago put on the musical Wizard of Oz. And it was fantastic. It was done in the black box. It was well attended, super fantastic. And then CCMS did James and the Jap piece in the main stage, and that was really incredible too. We have some great talented singers. Bastrop High School's musical, well, let me start with Cedar Creek's first. They're going to do Once on This Island, and that's going to be the last weekend of January. And the weekend before that, I need your help. So can you snap 2 times with me? Ready, go. Okay, one more time, please. Ready? Go. So guess what they're doing? And you're ready for it. The Addams Family. Ba-da-da-da. There we go. So you were primed and ready for that. And then after those musicals are over, we go into the spring season doing the one-act plays. In our art department, we continue to produce amazing artworks, kindergarten through 12. Our kids are involved in numerous art contests and projects around our area. For example, the Empty Bowl Project, the Salinas Project. We've also still maintained our connection with the Namibian African teachers that came last year here. We shared artwork with them, and they're sending their artwork to us. So our kids get to see different cultural art that are so different than what we see and what we produce. It's really magical and pretty cool. As you know, we have fantastic dance programs here in BISD. And we're very fortunate to offer dance education at the middle school level. I'm smiling ear to ear. Thank you, thank you, thank you, because the interest at middle school is so great. Those classes are so full, and they learn so many different dances from different genres, different styles. I can't thank you enough for continuing to support that. And at the high school level, as you know, we continue to excel in our dance performance, taking numerous awards in the drill team competitions. And in addition, we have, as you know, a world-class, and I'm not just, that's not smoke, it's a world-class ballet folkloric dance department at Cedar Creek High School. The show in September was stunning, and the show around, the cultural show around Cinco de Mayo is not to be missed. It is fantastic, and that continues to grow. Just when you think it can't get any better, it does. So hats off to them, because that is a fantastic program to support. In the choir, going to the music house now. In the choir, we have our middle school choir programs that are still growing, but their performances continue to grow too, with UIL ratings and more numbers inside the program. So thank you again for the continued support in that area. At this point, I'm going to stop my spotlight. Although there's more to cover, I'll cover that in the next section. So I'll let you go on to the special recognition.
Okay, fantastic.
Portion.
Would you just quickly share with us? I know I get a lot of feedback from the community. They're like, is the PAC used a lot?
Yes, it's rented out for during the day most of the year, and then at nights for rehearsals and for performances. You know, usually the only days we don't rent it are probably Sundays, but even then we do a couple of them. But yeah. As a matter of fact, I think it's so rented out that we have to force ourselves to close it for a week or two to do maintenance on it in July. So it is constantly being used.
That's fantastic.
Our staff over there is awesome too, as you know.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. All right, this time we'll move to special recognitions. Is Laura Ingram in the crowd? Kaylee, do you know if your mom's here? Okay, she was, have her on here to be here for the We Believe in BISD committee this evening, so I guess, Ms. McClure, you'll represent them tonight, so you pass that on to them. Yes. So, all right, let's go to Cedar Creek High School Choir.
Great. Well, that's a funny one in that they're here to be spotlighted today, recognized, but the recognition of the 4 students that have advanced to pre-area contest, they're actually competing tonight. So they're not here, but we've made a deal with them, so we will recognize them again in January, and they'll also sing for you. Okay, they're going to be part of our open house musical celebration, so that's going to be kind of cool when we see them. And I do want to at least recognize the 4 students. It's Caden Casey, Ronald Mates, Rodrigo Alvarez, and Yahir Madrigal. Okay, so just wanted to openly say their names because they deserve that tonight. As you know, we continue to offer piano classes as well in our district. And one other cool thing that's not part of the CCHS thing, but it's cool in that we have a resident in our area named Hannibal Lacumbe. He is a world-renowned composer, and he's the resident composer for the Philadelphia Symphony Orchestra. He's writing a piece as he's commissioned to do so, but he's involving our art students and our music students collaboratively, giving him ideas on how to write this piece, and in turn he's opening it up to them to show them what it takes to write music and what it's like, and it's been a marriage. It's been wonderful. Our kids are having a great experience. He's going to take 2 of our students with him to Philadelphia. He's going to pay for them. He wants to pay for them to go and watch the opening night of the premiere of his piece called Healing Tones. So I think that's really cool. Now, without further ado, let me get to the band programs. 3 of our 4 middle schools earned UIL sweepstakes last year, and that's never been done. 24 students advanced to the next level of competition in district band, and of those 12, 12 advanced to the final round, and 10 of those 12 made it to the region band. So we continue to excel individually as well as group-wise too. So I'd like to at this point bring up Mr. Chris Mendez to talk to you a little bit about the Cedar Creek High School Band and introduce some of his students that he brought.
Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Thank you for having us. My name is Chris Mendez, and I'm actually, hard to believe, already in my 5th year as head director at Cedar Creek High School, so time flies when you're having fun and you get to work with such great kids. So we had another successful marching season. We took part in 4 different marching contests. At least, well, 2 of them we won. We won first place and won every award available in our classes. The last one we won almost every caption award. And then UIL we got ones again. So we're on our way to hopefully what will be our 3rd sweepstakes in a row. So the kids are working really hard. We're really proud of them. And I'm happy to introduce some of them because they're here. So I'll start with Hayden because he's already there. So Hayden is a senior and he has been in our drumline for many, many years. Great kid. Will our other Cedar Creek kids stand up, please? Of course, they're all shy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I'll just go left to right to make it easy. So this is Christina Guajardo on the left. You say hi. She's our front ensemble section leader. This is Gabby Gonzalez in the middle. She's our head drum major, who basically just runs the show. We just get to sit back and watch her do her work. And then this is Jeremiah Guajardo on the right side, who's our drumline section leader as well. So we can just give them a big round of applause for their work. So, yeah, and we did also want to publicly say congratulations to Bastrop High School as well, who will talk in a little bit.
Here's one more.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed one. They snuck in the back. I'm sorry. So this is Victoria Maldonado. She is one of our flute section leaders. And then this is Nick Winsky and Jordan Bishop, who's sneaking in there too, saxophone and tuba players. So thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate it.
At this time, I'd like to bring up the head director of the Bastrop High School Band. It's Mr. Kenneth Gilbreth.
Thank you. I'm Kenneth Gilbreth. This is my 4th year here in Bastrop, and I do want to say first that my wife is here as well. She teaches English at Bastrop High School, and she's also our color guard director. And before we decided to move here, we were teaching at 2 different schools. She was helping one band, I was helping another, never saw each other. And so we started to look around for a place where we could, find a home where we could actually teach together. And I can't say enough how blessed we've been as a family to be able to be, together in the same high school. We teach together first period, and I know a lot of people say, how do you do that? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But and our son is very happy here in middle school, is in band and athletics and all that, and so we're just extremely lucky to be here. I do want to say thank you to Mr. Portillo. I know that he works with both of our groups, Cedar Creek and Bastrop High School, during marching season and some of concert season. He's in our rehearsals weekly, giving us advice and really helping our students, whether just being an extra set of eyes and ears down on the field, really interacting with our students. And we really could not have the amount of success without this guy here. So I just really want to say thank you very much to Mr. Portillo and for Bastrop ISD for bringing him here, because it's just been a real blessing on both of our programs, I know for sure. I have Riley Tamayo. She is one of our, come on up. She is one of our drum majors this year. She's a junior and plays clarinet, and this is her first year as drum major. Our other drum major, Jocelyn, wasn't able to be here tonight, so but she's done a lot of hard work this year, and she really helps out a lot. And being a drum major is really difficult because you start to realize that you have to separate yourself from the other students, and sometimes that means, not keeping all your friends and all that kind of stuff. And so she's just done an excellent job in learning what a leader is and all those things. So just really want to say thank you for all of the support. This year we had our 3rd year in a row, just like Cedar Creek did this year, with ones and marching contests. And so we're very, very happy about those results. So thank you very much.
So I invite you to be on the lookout for all of the holiday concerts that are coming in our very full pack, night after night. I invite you to visit the district website if you want times and who's performing when. So thank you again for this opportunity to tell you how proud we are of the Fine Arts program here in Bastrop ISD. So with that, thank you, and I'll kick it over to.
Thank you, Mr. Portillo. Appreciate it. All right, this time we'll move to our athletic director, Andy Sexton, to do some special recognitions here.
Good evening, Board. Mr. Edwards, it's an exciting time for our athletic department. Off to a great start. A lot of our teams made the postseason. We got some still playing this week, so it's exciting to see. Our coaches have worked hard with our kids since the 1st of August. It's nice to have a little break in the weather, although it's a little extreme break. But what we'd like to do is introduce the coaches, let them kind of brag on their kids a little bit tonight. And we're going to start off with our volleyball team from BHS, Coach Creek. You'll come up here and talk about your great season, and Coach Champagne, thank you.
Have them come up with me because this is the reason why we're here. First off, thank you guys for having us out and honoring us. This is, I've been here 6 years, 2 other districts, and this is the first district that I've been in that really takes time at their board meetings to recognize their student athletes. So thank you guys for doing this. This season was obviously a really great season, and really it was at the direction of these young ladies behind me. I really didn't have to do much but show up and coach, and and opened the gym up for them when they called in the summer a lot. Hey, can we have open gym? Yes, because they were driving and they were pushing this boat, and it's be a testament to them and their dedication of where we went this season. It also was possible because of my great assistant coaches, Coach Champagne, who has been in the district way longer than me, Coach Griffith, Coach Clark, our awesome administration, Mr. Brown in the back, and Coach Sexton, who've always been really supportive of us. So we were able to make the playoffs. We hadn't been back since 2016, so it was a great season and great effort on their part. I also want to celebrate some of the recognitions that we got from all district. We have honorable mention all district was Caitlin Harmon, who is here today. And Miss Devone Rector, who she's at work today. She wasn't able to come in. Second team all-district is Abby Valderrama and Amanda Bernecki. Our first team all-district was Kayla McGee and Alicia Brown. And outstanding hitter of our district 18-5A was Sarah Gormley. On top of all that, I just confirmed after our 6 weeks, but we are honored for academic all-district. That's players have to maintain a 90 or above average for the first 6 weeks. We had 14 players, and all 14 were academic all-district. And so, including the young ladies that I already mentioned, included also our Bella De La Rosa, Gracie Long, Avery Allen, Zoe Croft, Felicity Kelly, Tess Gosling, and Brianna Muchink. And so great job, ladies, on and off the court. And again, thank you guys for honoring them. It's been a great year.
Thank you, Coach Krieg.
What Coach Krieg did mention was that their volleyball district was a very, very competitive, tough volleyball district, and so very proud of what they accomplished this year. So congratulations, Coach. Next, we have our regional qualifying girls cross-country team from Bastrop High School. Coach Palomino, if you'll come up with your group, and Coach Blunt, come on up.
All right, tonight, I just want to say thank you for having us tonight and recognizing our girls. First, I want to start out by thanking Coach Blunt, who fortunately we had our help this year, and she helped with the recruitment of the girls, and as you can see, she did an amazing job recruiting girls. I always had trouble recruiting girls, and this year was amazing. I want to present the girls. This is Brianna Muchink, freshman. Freshman Louise Hager. Senior Claire Philpott, senior Allie Atkinson, freshman Haley Diebel, freshman Lena Kirshner, freshman Kimberly Morales, freshman Melanie Alvarez, and freshman Ashley Ramirez. So we have a very young team, and we're excited for next year. Some of their accomplishments, we had one girl start out at 27s, and at district she just came out strong, and she ran a 23, so she dropped 3 minutes off her time. By the time district came around, we had 2 freshmen break 19-minute 5Ks, and if you ever tried a 5K, that's I can't do it right now, so that's very difficult to do, just to get out there and run it. And I know, some people ask me how much mileage do they do. Well, these girls, I leave their success up to them. I don't tell them you have to do a certain amount of miles. I give them a workout, and it's up to them. If they want to work hard, they can hit 3 miles a day. If they want to go out there and hit it hard all 30, 40 minutes, they can run 6 miles a day. So it's really up to them on how well they do. And as you can see, they've done an amazing job. They take it serious, and we look forward to hopefully going back next year and going even farther. So once again, thank you, ladies, and thank you, Coach Blunt, for help the recruitment on the girls' side.
Great, thank you, appreciate it.
Of course, the common denominator was the word freshman several times with that group. So we're excited in the future with Coach Palomino and his group. I got a chance to go watch them run in Huntsville 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was excited to see those girls compete. They did a great job. Both of our team tennis teams made the playoffs, Bastrop High School and Cedar Creek. So first I'm going to introduce Coach Artis and the team tennis from Bastrop High School.
Come on in, guys. Just pile in. You're good. Good evening, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Edwards, and Coach Sexton, everybody in here. Just want to thank you guys for recognizing us. I usually say this every time. We haven't been in a couple of years, but we were able to make the playoffs again this year, and we fared pretty well, even though we lost to Cedar Park in the first round. We gave them a good run for their money, so the kids had a great time. They worked hard. We had a really good fall. But want to thank all y'all for recognizing us. Not every school board does that, and I've been in 4 districts in my career. And this is the only district I know that has actually brought the kids in and recognized them for their achievements. So I want to thank you guys for that. I'll just try to run through the names real quickly here. All right. We got Noah Garcia, Zakiah Caldwell, Danny Mobley, Sam Garcia, Zach Christensen, Kayla Wood, Elena Wetstein, Melody Zul Villanueva, Brennan Keeney, Trevor Buell, Christian Yanez, Michael Ariano, Mason Denson, and Cesar Fuentes. And like I said, these guys got 3rd in district and had a great time competing. And we'll be looking forward to hopefully being here again in the spring as we get some more kids out to regionals. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Next, we'll have the team tennis from Cedar Creek with Miss Coach Nichols and her kiddos come on up.
Good evening. Thank you so much for inviting us tonight. It's a great honor to be recognized for our fall accomplishments. The kids have been working hard since July 30th. A lot of hot days, a lot of long days. We took 4th in district and got beat in the first round of playoffs in a rainy duel against Conley. And I'd like to go ahead and introduce our players. We have Lana Jameson. Sophia Nichols, she earned all-district honorable mention.
Awesome.
Jordan Bishop. His doubles partner, Caleb Bunker. Nick Wensky, also all-district honorable mention. And his doubles partner, Alex Davis, also all-district honorable mention. And I'd like to introduce my assistant coach, Jeff Waltrip. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
You kids. Great job, guys.
We have one more, but I don't see him here. But I'm going to recognize him. We had a district champ, 7th grade boys, cross country, Thomas Gonzalez. And so I got a chance to go out and see that meet and see about 200 middle school kids run around like crazy. So it was a good time, but we recognized Thomas and all the junior high programs, the volleyball teams, football teams are all done, did a great job. We started basketball season. And so high school starting basketball season, soccer starts the day after Thanksgiving. So if you got something to do, come watch our kids compete and perform and represent BISD. We're very proud of them.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Ms. Barrientos, do we have anybody sign up for open forum? Okay, thank you very much. All right, this time we'll move into the superintendent report and board discussion. We have a item A there is a curriculum report, no report for this month. We'll move on to item B, if Ms. Callahan would come up and give us or present our report.
Yes. Good evening, Board. We are here tonight to present our annual audit, and I did want to introduce and welcome any of our Finance Committee members that are here. I think Mr. Mikan is here. Amy Wycliffe, she said she might be able to come, but the Bank Board meeting, if it ran long, she would not be able to. And then Richard Banks. So we're glad to have you, Mr. Mikan.
Just right quick, Mr. Mikan, we appreciate you being here, and you served on this school board. You remember how many terms?
2 terms.
2 terms. Well, thank you for that service and for still giving back and helping us.
We appreciate him being on the committee, and he always, even if he can't come, he always sends comments, and so it's always great to hear from him. We're also going to be reviewing the annual investment policy as far as that was sent out to you last month in your financial packet. Also this month, we're not suggesting any changes to that investment report, so we'll also take a motion after the audit to approve that and to approve that resolution. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Robert Belt with Belt Harris Pahachik to present our 17-18 audit.
Good evening. It's an honor to audit the district and be of your partners in the educational process. Over on page 4 is our independent auditor's report. Very pleased to announce it's an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance we can provide to the board as your auditors, that all the disclosures required by generally accepted accounting principles have been included and the financial statements are materially correct. In addition to doing the financial statement audit, we also did what we call a single audit, which is an audit of your federal grant programs. It is a compliance audit. Very pleased to announce that we did not have any findings in regard to the federal program, so everything is in very good shape. You have a tremendous amount of financial information within the report. Just going to point a couple of highlights to you real quickly. Sorry, I flipped to the wrong page. Over on page 22 is the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. This is a good overview of the operations of the district for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2018. The general fund is presented in the far left-hand column, which is your primary operating fund. Revenues came in at $91,097,000. Operating expenditures came in at $89,326,000. After taking into account some other financing sources and usage, you came in with a positive increase of $1,952,000 for the year. You begin the year with a fund balance of $13,650,000, and you ended the year with a fund balance of $15,603,000. As you know, fund balance is a primary indicator of financial health for districts, so it's very nice to see that the fund balance number was going up for the year. Back on page 55 is the budget to actual presentation for the general fund. Revenues for the year came in at $1,197,000 greater than what was anticipated. And operating expenditures came in at total expenditures came in at $1,479,000 less than anticipated, giving you a total positive budget variance of $2,676,000 for the year. Again, that's a very positive reflection on the district and its maintenance of controlling costs. That concludes my comments. More than happy to entertain any questions the board may have.
I don't necessarily have a question, but I definitely want to note the increase in the fund balance of the $1.9 million. And Sandra, thank you for your hard work and your team. And I know that was definitely a board goal when we met with Mr. Edwards. And man, you're here in less than a year and already putting back $1.9 million. So we appreciate the efforts and from everybody. So it's good news.
I just got a quick comment at Sandra. When's the last time we were able to put money in fund balance as a district?
We put not as much in, but not last year, but the year prior. So we put pretty had a break even, but it was a little bit went in. So
1.9 million is a big deal because we have to be fiscally responsible is one of our challenges, and I'll applaud Barry and his team. Putting that kind of money back is something that we talked to Barry about early on, and to be able to do that, I think is a huge accomplishment. The reason I bring it up is because as long as I've been a board member, we've never put over $1 million in fund balance in 1 year, not that I can remember. So I think it's a huge accomplishment. So I applaud the district and the team for getting that done.
And for the students that are here, well, the reason this is really exciting is we've had some tough years, even stemming back to the fires, and then also with school financing up at the state, or lack of it. And so, anyways, and then with aging infrastructure and things like that, it's we've had to spend some money. So we're excited to be able to put it back when we can.
I have a question. Are the OPEB?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any short explanation to understand better? Apparently, this has existed, but it has not been a.
Yes, and I apologize. I was going to go over that, and I went right past it. Governments across the United States, approximately 3 years ago, were required to bring their pension liability onto their balance sheet for the first time, and that impacted everyone. This year, all governments across the United States are being required to bring on what is referred to as their other post-employee benefits, or abbreviation is OPEB or OPEB. Okay, so that's basically when you're providing health insurance to retirees and recognizing that promise, that there's a dollar cost associated with that promise, and it's bringing on the cost of that promise onto the balance sheet. Again, it's a very big number you're bringing on, but all governments across the United States that offer that benefit are also bringing it on. So it does substantially reduce down on the full accrual basis of accounting, the net position of the district. But the district we are required to follow two different bases of accounting. One, modified accrual, which is your budget is adopted on, and then one is full accrual. So it does not look favorable from the full accrual basis, but your modified accrual basis, the primary numbers, all those numbers still look very solid. Go into it further? I'm going to count it. I can talk you to sleep.
Are we responsible? I mean, this is the state is the responsible party.
There is a very difficult part is that you're along for the ride. They're state employees. It's state-offered benefits. The state is you recognize your proportional share of that liability, but you're not the decision maker as when it comes to what benefits are being offered.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, but who knows? We've got a session coming up, and we don't have a very good track record. Schools don't.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions from the board? All right, Mr. Mikan, do you have any questions, what you looked over?
No, the report looked very good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for coming out this evening. Yes, sir.
So we recommend the board approve the 17-18 audit as presented.
Any discussion from the board? All right, this time I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2017-18 audit as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
And we have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Callahan.
And on the investment policy, we recommend no changes to the current investment policy and recommend that board approve the resolution regarding annual investment policy review as presented.
All right, is there any discussion from Ms. Callahan on this topic? All right, this time I will entertain a motion to approve the annual investment policy.
I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. You're not done, Ms. Callahan. We got one more, don't we?
Oh.
Or not?
Nope, I think that's it.
You did, right. All right. Tied one into two. That's what got me there. So, all right, not a problem. Okay, at this time we will move into personnel report. Panay Lieferman, you have a human resources update.
Good evening, Mr. Muchik, board members, Mr. Edwards. Thank you for a few minutes of your time this evening so we can talk about some human resources updates and some new moves. So we'll get started with our presentation. Okay. All right, first thing we're going to talk about is recruiting. And in our recruiting, we do have a new recruiting video, and I just kind of want to give you a little bit of information about our recruiting video. Prior district that I was in, they'd used a similar video, but it was 100 years of existence. When I watched that video, I was like, you can ask Mr. Edwards, he was in the car, oh my God, we're going to use that for recruiting. He's like, well, maybe we should use it for convocation. I said, oh no, sir, it's recruiting first. And so the concept really was people that have grown up here, they're students here, they've gone and gotten education, they've left and come back, or they never left, they got their education, and they've come back and they're still working for Bastrop, and the story that they can share. So at this time, we're going to take a view of our new recruiting video.
This is an awesome place to work. It is a better place to live, and I cannot tell you a better place to be. It's a secret that a lot of people don't know about.
For me, coming back here was like walking through my mom's front door.
Whichever campus you may visit or go to, or anytime you're downtown at central office, you always feel welcome. I am Bastrop.
Hashtag I am Bastrop.
My name is Chelsea Moore, and Mina is where it all started at. I went to school there from K through 4th. I knew I wanted to be a teacher because I had awesome people in my life, awesome teachers in my life who were there for me, and I believed that it was my time to give back. And I chose Bastrop ISD because, for one, it's home, and we have some great traditions here in the school.
I really believe in paying it forward and giving back, and you know, just as my teachers and coaches, just that influence that they had on me to continue to strive and push through difficult times and some hard times, just helped me become the person I am, and I just felt that it was a necessity to do the same and return that favor.
Bastrop ISD is the heart of this community. So whether you're just out of college and looking for your first teaching home, or if you are starting your second career and are looking for your home, this community will welcome you.
Bastrop's like home to me. This community and this school district are my family.
Hashtag I am Bastrop.
I am Bastrop. The coaches and teachers that I had in Bastrop made me believe that I could be more than I could be, and I wanted to come back to Bastrop and repay that debt.
You walk around our classrooms and go inside of them, and you see all the effort that teachers have put in, and all the games and activities and the stations, and it's just a lot of time and a lot of love that our teachers put in for our kids.
This is a great place to work. I've seen the changes from when I was a high school senior, the diversity that has developed in this school.
We are right outside of Austin, Texas, so you have that large city feel, and we're still a small community, and so you kind of get the best of both worlds.
You should check out this wonderful place. I am Bastrop.
Oh, yes, yes.
I was going to talk about her a little bit in our presentation, but she is on the video, as you guys saw. She's getting her HR degree, and so we have restructured. This is kind of down in the presentation, but we've restructured our department, understanding and knowing how important it is to recruit. I restructured our department, and her position is talent acquisition and development. So we're really focusing on recruiting. That's the biggest part of her job. She does other things, but we're really taking a focused effort on recruiting and getting people out here to work in Bastrop ISD. So thank you. That's all our department. Her autograph signing is tomorrow at 10 o'clock if you're interested. So I want to thank Christy and Nick who's still here. They did an amazing job, went to them with the concept, and they turned that into reality for us, so we really appreciate it. We've used it at a couple of job fairs that we've been to recently, and so, as Nick would say, did we get any bites on it? We don't know yet. So anyway, so we talked about the department reorganization a little bit already. Social media, last year we launched with a company called Career Arc, and we dabbled into having them assist us with some social media, which had not been done in HR. And they worked with us with LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. So now Diana, that'll be a big part of her job, working with Career Arc to even take that to the next level with better pictures, better snippets for recruiting in our social media venue. Job fairs, we've attended 5 already for this fall. We've gone to UT, we've gone to Texas State, we've gone to UTSA, A&M, and Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State was new for us this year. We're trying to find colleges that have a very successful education program. Diana's system is green folders go, blue folders no. We did not put one application in the blue folder, so we will continue going back to Sam. We were very, very impressed with them. We're actually finding our teachers this year from the job fairs that we're attending, so we're super excited about that. Student teachers, we're looking at that differently as well. We've declined in the number of student teachers that we have been receiving and recruiting here. So we're taking a different approach. We're looking at assisting teachers that come to us with observation hours that they need. We're looking at their needs and placing them on campus to specifically fit their needs, and we've already gotten a student teacher from just changing that concept to changing how we do observation hours. So those are some of our recruiting efforts that we have changed. We're going to talk about some things we do with retaining. We continuously try to improve how we onboard our applicants. And so last year in our presentations, we did a PowerPoint. So the kids come in, because they are kids, and they are, just inundated with tons of information. And then they have a folder and they leave and they're overwhelmed. So this year we put together what we call our HR internet website. We use that to facilitate our onboarding process, and we give them the link in their packet, so when they leave, they have our pictures, our access information, every single thing we talked about it, they have it access on the web. And so they don't just walk away, they can go back. We tell them to, don't worry about any question, even if you don't think it's an HR question, call us, we'll help you, we'll get you to the right person. So we're continuously looking at how we can improve that process. We're going to launch a new hire survey. We've not done that before. We want to find out what that onboarding process was like for them. We want to find out about their mentors. We want to find out about the week of in-service. We want to get some specific data from them so that we can continue to improve our process. We launched our new district mentor program this year so we could have some consistency and some district expectations with how we did mentoring. We had 2 really large training programs that we started before school. We brought all the mentors in. We went through the manual, the packet, and then we have done a lot of one-on-ones with mentors that have been signed after those meetings so that we do have consistency. Diane and I are doing monthly campus visits. We go to every campus once a month and we meet with the new hires. We just are touching base with them on how's it going, asking questions. Do you have a badge? Does your badge work? Did you get direct deposit? How about technology? Do you have a mentor? Is that working out? I mean, we just go through a plethora of questions and take lots of notes, and then we come back and we contact the people to get them help. So we've done that all fall. We're closing out November and December. Then in spring, up there is called stay interviews, and we're going to start those. We're going to go to half of our campuses, so we'll go to 7. So this is for everyone. It's not just for new hires. We're going to post up in their teacher's lounge during lunch. We're going to have snacks, cookies, chips, drinks, and we're going to just run through a series of about 10 questions on why do you work in Bastrop, why do you stay here, what excites you about coming to work every day. We want to find the positive so that we can continue to grow on that, and then find some things that we can do quick wins with, and then some long-term planning. So that's not just new hires, that's everyone in the district. So we'll shift from fall semester to new hires, to spring semester, everybody. We are doing an HR Power Hour. Lila's been gracious enough to allow us an hour in the principal meeting so that we're training our principals with some HR information so that they're really effective principals. Sometimes the presentations aren't that fun, but it's things that they need to know as a principal. So in September we did Senate Bill 7, which we all know which that one is, about inappropriate relationships. Last month we did grievances, and this month we did investigations. So we have consistency with how we're doing our business and consistency with forms. We're starting with APs. I did 2 presentations today with APs, and we started with investigations. And next month we'll do grievances with them. And then the TPES evaluation system, that's new for our principals. That's more of a growth model for them. We've done the clinical observation for years, and we've moved over to TPES, and we've done goal setting. We've done self-evaluations with them, and we are starting to design what that TPES looks like for assistant principals, because we can't really use the same instrument because it's a different type of job. So those are some of the things that we're doing to retain and educate our staff. Retention, this is a team effort. There's only so many things that we can do from the HR office to really retain teachers, because really they're not in our office every day. They're on campuses with their principals, they're interacting with specialists, they're working with police officers, so that's really a team effort. We're collaborative with how we're retaining. So some of the things like campus improvement plans, the campuses now have retention strategies in their plans. Some of the campuses were Bluebonnet, Red Rock, BIS, BMS, CCMS, and DHS. They had some very specific strategies to retain their teachers, which I was very happy to see. We've expanded the social emotional learning program down to the elementary, intermediate, and middle, so we have some consistency and expectations for student behavior. We're doing daily PLCs at both comprehensive high schools for our state-assessed content areas. District curriculum and resources, targeted PD at every opportunity that we can get them together. Teacher Support Council, that looks a little bit different. Last year we had what we called teacher org meetings, and we had the organization presidents coming and representing. So this year we twisted it up a little bit so we could get a lot more representation at the table. So the peers on every single campus nominated one teacher to come to the table to talk to cabinet, basically. They collect celebrations as well as what I call topics for discussion. And then they send all that to me a week before the meeting. I take it to cabinet by campus. That's how I generate the agenda. And then we have it a few days in advance so that we're coming to the meeting with responses and answers and able to provide instead of coming to the meeting and saying, we'll get back to you. So they're a little long, probably longer than I would want them to be, but I don't want any teacher to feel that their concern is not discussed. Then after it's over, I do the minutes, I send it to those representatives, I CC the principals, and then they send that out to their teachers. So I feel like we're getting a wider net of teachers' input that's coming to the table with their concerns. What we tell them is when you send the information to me, you have to CC your principal, because I want it to be very transparent, that principal knows what concerns are coming to their campus. This time what I did a little bit different was there were some things that are very campus specific, so we don't take the district time to do that, and I met with 4 principals individually with their campus specific things so they can address that either in a campus memo or a faculty meeting or something like that. Systematically approaching the analysis of our exit data. I'm gathering different exit surveys from different districts around this area to kind of see what other people are asking to make sure that we're asking the right questions. We're going to put that out, and we're going to start analyzing why are our people leaving. I think those stay interviews will help us as well. And then I'm going to do a turnover rate challenge for campuses. So we're going to have a challenge on here's what the state is, here's what the district is, and here's what your campus is. And then we're going to have prizes for them on who had the lowest percentage of turnover so that there's some incentive for them to work with their teachers for the retention as well. Then we have a couple other things that are more departmental that I wanted to share with you guys. We're going to do what I call a data wall. And coming from curriculum, having an accounting degree, I'm all about the data. And so we can make decisions in HR about data as well. So I'm collecting all that data right now. I have 4 years, and then when the taper comes out, we're going to have 5 years of data. We're going to look at things like salary. We're going to look at years of experience. We're going to look at ethnicity. We're going to look at job categories, and right outside, and it's going to be public where everybody can just walk down the hall and see it. So we have a visual of what we need to work on, and it's constant reminder. If it's salaries, if it's turnover, if it's by years of experience, we have that visual to look at every single day. We're bringing on a new records platform because we are tired of paper cuts in the HR department. We keep everything in paper. And so we have our first implementation kickoff meeting the week after Thanksgiving. It takes us about 3 months for implementation and training. Our go live target date is April the 1st, and my goal is every hire for 2019, 2020 is going to be in our records platform. So it's a little bit of a big undertaking, but we've got to jump off somewhere and get rid of all this paper. And then we're going to update our HR binder. The last time it was updated was 2015, and we're putting all the new things in there, taking out all the old, changing names, updating forms. We're presenting that to the principals at the principal meeting when we come back from Thanksgiving. Are there any questions?
No, it's very exciting to see how the HR department is continuing to evolve and be proactive. And what I like that I'm hearing is not only from the student advisory panel, we're getting input from the students, and we're getting it from the faculty at the different campuses and doing something with it, getting them some answers. There's some things that we can't do because it could be a lack of money to do that, or maybe needing to get a bond passed or something like that. And it's really great to see that video because there's several people in there that we get approached with in the community by. I've gotten some phone calls from attorneys and others and said, hey, can y'all give this person a chance? And I'm like, all I can do is pass the name on because, we don't do the hiring and the dismissing and things like that. But I've always been impressed over the years that y'all were very open to a phone call from a board member and say, hey, would you give this young lady or this young man a chance because they went to school here? And it's even exciting to see at the retirement ceremony for teachers. I think we have a principal that was retiring her kindergarten teacher at one time. And so it's neat to see that, and it's great that you'll be able to put those stories out there. And thank you for not letting Chief Yarborough lip sing on this video.
It was a challenge. Okay, anybody else?
Well, the video, itself, and Nick, I have to give you kudos. I've heard from people, boy, he is so professional, and everything that we see, and Christy coming in with that too, and it just seems all, but thank you for the quality of it, but everything is very proactive, and it's interesting that an HR department, and maybe our students could comment on this. I don't know how you're feeling about all of the activity, everything that's going on in HR, that we really, because one of our goals is to recruit and retrain and retain our teachers. We want our teachers to come and stay. So we're having to address some of those issues because that's not always the case. What are your thoughts on that, Caitlin? Did you have?
Is there a high percentage of our teachers that are leaving? Like, I know personally, I had 7 teachers last year, and 4 of them are gone. Yeah. That's a lot.
We're just a little bit over the state average, but it is, to me, one teacher leaving is one too many. Yeah. Because when they come, a lot, I call them kids. They come out of college and they get their first job, and we train the heck out of them. And then they either get married, move on, or decide to move to Dallas or whatever, and then we have to start all over. So it's in our best interest to keep them here as long as possible, because then that gives continuity to you guys' instruction and just the classroom. So we're doing our best to bring that number down.
And I think personally as a student, it's always, nice to see that there's another level of care for the teachers besides the principal and y'all the board, because they work so hard and everything's for us, and it's just kind of nice to see you guys doing something for them too. So
I have a question for you, Hayden. If I remember right, you're interested in accounting and entrepreneurial?
Yes, sir.
So this whole idea of the concept of all she's talking about HR, if you are an entrepreneur, you have to plan for your success, and you have to know that the people that you hire are going to be your company, your business. Have you explored some of these? Is this new to you? Is this some ideas that give you some ideas of things you might think about?
Actually, I worked at the Hyatt for almost about 4 months, and their HR is, it's probably like my first look at all of it. I took many times to go and I talked with multiple people. But as she's saying, like losing one teacher is like a lot. And I think just getting perspective from, her and just being there, I saw just, how important it is to, keep everybody, and just how the way HR works is actually quite honestly fascinating to me. I can't wait to explore it more after high school, something I really want to do.
So.
Didn't hear from about y'all's current activities, your future plans. What are you interested in pursuing from post high school on?
So for my future plans, I plan to, in a similar sense, pursue business management at UT Austin, in the Macomb School of Business, and really piggybacking off of the idea of keeping each teacher present in our school system. Each teacher has their own value. Each teacher has their own skill set, and I believe losing one aged teacher, for example, one of the teachers that I value highly at Cedar Creek High School is Mr. Birch. He teaches AP English and American Studies at our school. He is one of the most intelligent teachers I have met to this day, and he's taught me everything I know. And I believe losing anyone of that sort, losing that mindset, that skill set, and having to start anew with a new hire does have its own benefits, but I really do feel like keeping all of our teachers grounded to BISD will benefit all of the students overall.
Caitlin?
Okay, if he's going to talk about his favorite teacher, I'm going to talk I just have to talk about Mr. Jimenez. He's my AP World History teacher. He's amazing. Like, honestly, I cannot imagine having a better teacher ever. It's the best teacher I've ever had. I went to tutorials today, and he spent 20 minutes focusing just on me and one essay. He's amazing.
So good to hear.
The other message in that recruiting video is you go through the system here and you come back. There's this community, and you repay what Mr. Jimenez did for you today.
So great.
Well, and all three of y'all and the rest of the student population, y'all can definitely help us. And so I know that Hayden, I maybe not have gotten to meet you in the public, but I know, every time I see the other two, it's yes sir, no sir, and it's a handshake, and that means a lot. And just giving that respect to your teachers or in the classes that you're in, and even encouraging possibly another fellow student who may need a little encouragement to say, hey man, kind of take it easy. These
be nice.
Yeah, be nice. And I mean, it sounds something simple, but it goes a long ways.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So,
yes, sir. I've raised like that from boy up, You give respect, you get it back. So I'm a true believer of that. But just another note, having the teachers we have, it's hard. Like, I can see it, like, being a teacher and dealing with so many kids, and then some kids aren't as cooperative as the others. It's just truly, it's hard. And I can say right now, I don't think I could do it. But
Come on, yes, you can.
You're not helping Miss Lee for here.
yeah, there's other skill sets we have.
I guess the video didn't work on y'all. You're going to love it when you come back.
Like, every day we see the level, like, I mean, I'm in, like, advanced classes, so I don't see it as badly, but, like, as I was saying yesterday, like, there's a fight in the middle of the hallway. Like, oh my God. Like, I just, like,
We're going to get to that report in just a second.
I think a lot, like, of course, teachers do interact with principals and stuff, but mainly they're interacting with students.
Kids.
So I think a lot of it is us, necessarily. Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for being an example. That goes a long ways. We appreciate it. All right.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Great job. All right. We have our last report here on operations and police department report, and we have our famous police chief, Jeff Yarbrough, to present that.
Mr. Mucci, members of the board, Mr. Edwards, I'm here tonight to give you an update on our school safety and police training that's been done here in Bastrop ISD over the last few months, actually. I want to start off by kind of giving you a little rundown of who your Bastrop ISD Police Department and officers are. Currently, we're made up of 4 police officers, campus police officers, and these officers work throughout the district patrolling and doing campus assessments at every one of our campuses and buildings and facilities in the district. We also have 2 attendance officers, and one of those attendance officers is actually a commissioned peace officer, which is a very important role for us because our attendance officers are often off campus, doing home visits in all parts of the county, and it's important to have sometimes to have that added assurance of that police presence there when you're going to certain areas of this county. We also have 4 campus monitors, and we have 2 at each high school, 2 at Bastrop High School, 2 at Cedar Creek High School. We also have 2 night security officers, and this basically makes up who Bastrop ISD Police Department is. Now, talking specifically about our police officers, we have 2 officers who are master police officers. Now, just to give you a perspective of that, when you come out of the police academy, you come out with a basic peace officer certification. And your time in grade and your hours of training will take you to the next level, which is an intermediate, then an advanced, then a master peace officer certification. So of our 6 sworn officers, 2 of those officers, I'm one of those officers who is a master peace officer that carries that master peace officer certification, which is the highest certification you can attain. We have 3 advanced peace officers in the district. We also have 1 intermediate peace officer. So talking about the training that we've obtained, I want to talk about the training that we've acquired over the summer, particularly after the school safety symposium. We've brought in some really good teachers, and we've gone to some really important training that we've actually used and implemented and trained through, particularly, you know, early in the mornings we get together and we actually go through drills. We actually train in de-escalation techniques, pressure point control tactic techniques, all of those things that we think are very important that you continue to train in so that you don't lose those skills in the event of an opportunity comes when you need them. So all of our officers are alert training, and that's advanced law enforcement rapid response training. So that's training that we received. We were very fortunate this summer. 4 of our officers went, including me. I've gone to this training before, but we went through this training again, and it was actually taught by the FBI. So we were training alongside FBI agents and U.S. Marshals. So it was a 2-day course, and we were very, very excited to have that privilege and that opportunity. So all of our officers are alert trained. And what this is now there's an initiative that's been pushed out by the state where the governor wants every law enforcement officer in the state to be alert trained. And why that's important for us is in the event that we have a critical incident, you're going to have officers coming from every jurisdiction. So when you get there and you get inside the building, you don't want to have to learn on the job. You want to be able to go and have a seamless approach to addressing any target. So that's why it's important for us to train together like we do when we have our drills, and it's important for all of us to understand the fundamentals of this training and how to properly respond in the event of a critical incident. All of our officers have also completed behavior management de-escalation techniques, which is something that, again, that we feel is important. All of our officers are NASRO certified. What that is the National Association of School Resource Officers. It's a national organization that provides a specialized training to officers who work within a school setting. And we've made it a requirement of our district that within your first year here, you should attend this training. They have a basic and they have an advanced, and we have officers who are also advanced NASRO certified officers. We also had officers attend the ADAP, alcohol and drug abuse prevention training that we recently had, and that included our attendance officers. They also attended that. It's very important. It was very important training. It was very good training. I learned a lot about some of the ways kids are using items to abuse those items to reach, you know, whatever. Yeah, conceal as well was something that was very important. It was a really good training. Our campus monitors went to that training as well. They talked about different types of chemicals and household items that kids are using, and using those to make alcohol, to get high. So it was very, very important training and very positive. We had a lot of feedback that we were able to come back and process through. 4 of our officers are crazed instructors. Again, we've got 4 officers that work the campuses every day, and so that's civilian response to active shooter events. So we're able to go out and teach this to our staff throughout the district. How are you to respond? And basically it lies upon the building blocks of avoid, deny, defend. And those are principles that you can use not only in school settings, but if there's an active shooter in the library, if there's an active shooter in HEB, these same principles apply. So it's something that we're looking to roll out district-wide to teach our staff and the community on how they're to respond and act. Because it's important for them to know their role so that when we come in to address the target, that they're doing their job so that we can do our job. 4 of our officers are TCOL instructors, meaning that we can provide training in-house instead of having to go out and pay for training at other agencies or other organizations. So it saves money for us. We can actually provide that training in-house to our officers. 3 of our officers are mental health officers. And I don't know if you grasp this, but if you had officers sitting in here, they say, wow, y'all are stacked. Because this is some really good training. This is very important. There are a lot of agencies that would love to have this training. We have 2 of our officers. I'm one of those who is a disruptive student management certified instructor. I teach our officers how to deal with disruptive students, how to properly transport them, how to properly de-escalate them, how to properly control them without hurting them. I'm also a PPCT certified instructor and another officer as well. That's pressure point control tactics. And these are things that are very important in our setting. And that's one of the reasons we don't carry tasers. You know, and that's something that we in our other agencies that do, it's something we don't carry tasers, we don't carry pepper spray. You can't control a student. You probably need to find another job is the way we look at it. We're also, we have I Love You Guys. I'm an instructor in I Love You Guys, the standard response protocol and standard reunification methods. So we teach, just like we train monthly with our staff, our campuses, on how to respond when you have lockouts, lockdowns, evacuations, and shelters in place. This is what this is about. It's a training program that we actually are, like I said, we're certified in, that we take very seriously, and we want to make sure that we close all security gaps when we're out providing this training and these drills to our campuses. 2 of our officers are SWAT trained. Now, I put that there, but I want you to know that all of the training except the SWAT training is training that we had over the last 6 months. The department. One of our officers is an ERACE instructor. That's exterior response to active shooter events. So that is some training that you're able to provide to those who are going to be first responders, how to get into buildings, how to stack up, how to use vehicles, and how to look for booby traps when you go out, because some people think that that's something that doesn't happen. Yes, it does. In Santa Fe, that was a concern that they had. Other improved safety procedures, drills. The state requires 4 annual lockdowns for a district each year. This year, we have upped our lockdown drills to 8 annual lockdowns per campus. To date, that was done that was done earlier, but today we've got 49. We did a lockdown drill today, we did a fire drill today. So we've got 49 lockdown drills today, 19 fire drills, 19 severe weather drills. Now, what's important about that lockdown drill is, and I'll get to it, but it provides, to date, 49 training opportunities, not only as a district, not only as campuses, but as officers. We're training with DPS side by side, Bastrop County, Bastrop Police Department. So it gives all of us an opportunity to train together. We know if I'm point, we know who's going to be doing what. So it gives us that opportunity to close those gaps, and it becomes second nature. And in Bastrop ISD, what we do at each campus, our officers facilitate the drill. So anytime there's a fire drill, anytime there's a shelter in place or severe weather, anytime there's a lockdown drill, we're the ones facilitating that. We want to make sure officers are on scene when you're going to be moving kids in and out of buildings. And also it gives us an opportunity to assess and make sure that those drills are being properly carried out. Again, local law enforcement partners are present, and they also participate in our safety drills. We found something recently when we were doing these drills at several of our campuses. Officers from DPS and officers from Bastrop County, and in fact, we just did one at Mr. Brown's campus a few weeks ago, and we had new officers who were there, and they said, I've never been to this campus before. They said, you know, I've worked in this district. It was the first time that they trained with us. I've never been here before. the best time to learn that is in a drill. It's not when you've got an active shooter event. So it's important for us to always train together so that they get a chance to know the layouts. They get a chance to know the students get to know them, the staff get to know them. So we're seeing net positives from this. Are we finding areas of concern? Absolutely, but that's what you do in training. You close those gaps. We identify document security gaps that exist, and we discuss strategies for closing those gaps. And okay, I missed one, but we debrief with campus administrators after every drill. What we do, once we have a lockdown drill or a fire drill, we sit down with the campus administrators. For example, take a fire drill. One of the things, and you'll see in a minute, we've implemented what's called look before you leave. It's a simple premise that we came up with here in Bastrop, and other agencies are now using that because they like the idea. In the event of a fire, before our teachers are taking the kids out in the hallways, they simply go to the door, they look, make sure that there's no threat outside, that, you know, where the fire alarm's been pulled, and they've marched the kids out. So they're going out, they're looking, and if the coast is clear, then they take the kids out. If it's not, they go back in, they're locked down, and they make the call. So getting them to understand that and the importance of that, and to have different looks to different scenarios is very important. So we debrief with our campus administrators after every drill. We talk about the strengths, we talk about the successes, we talk about the areas that need to be improved, and we listen to their feedback and some of their ideas. They listen to our ideas, and at the end of the day when we leave satisfied knowing that we've learned from that drill, and we've taken away positives that we can use and things that we can look for in the next drill. We also go and we debrief as a law enforcement body because we want to make sure that our tactical response is sound. And so we will discuss strategies. We will talk about how we enter rooms. We'll talk about how we enter intersections in campuses to make sure that we're protecting our partners as well, so that we can move through as quick and as efficient as possible. We also make sure that and this is something that we've done quite regularly now. We make sure we coordinate with maintenance to address any security-related maintenance repairs. For example, we've gone through and we've done lockdown drills, and we found out from teachers, my door won't lock. The lock's been broke. So we want to make sure we address those things immediately, because some people wonder, well, why is it important to keep the doors locked? What you want to do is create as many time barriers as you possibly can between you and the bad guy, because it gives us time to get there and address that subject. We also make sure that food service and maintenance participates. If they're on the campuses, they participate in the drills. And that's something that we are starting to see. We were doing a drill at, I don't know, we've done so many on one campus, and I remember when we were clearing the cafeteria, I looked out, and it was a fire drill. We were going through, making sure everyone was out. I looked out, and they were all outside on the hill. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. You know, it's good to see them participating in the drills, because there were times we'd go through, and oh, well, it's a fire drill. You know, that's not for us. But making sure that everyone knows that we are a campus and we're a community, and if one thing happens on that campus, it potentially can affect us all, so getting them to participate was very important. New changes. We've updated our standard response protocols. We've added to it, and we made sure that they are consistent with best practices as provided by the Texas School Safety Center, and in addition to that, I love you guys, we made sure that our standard response protocols are consistent with those best practices as well. We've updated our emergency ops plan, and we've added to that strategies on how to respond to active shooter events. And again, we've added in the look before you leave and other updates to the emergency ops plan. We've provided standard response protocols and emergency ops plans to the campuses in both digital and paper format. And we also had that translated into Spanish so that we can have that out there as well. And when we sit down and we go through our debriefs, we actually have them pull out their paper manuals, and we actually do an agenda for that meeting, and they record those records and the outcome of our meetings in those books. We've worked to limit the points of entry at our campuses. Historically, when I first got here, you know, it was commonplace that you could go into many different campuses from many different areas. And over time, we've started to close those off. I was over at Bastrop High School just a few days ago, and I love the fact that I'm seeing kids now knocking on the windows trying to get in, and people are only letting them in if they know who they are. I'm loving that. That's what it's all about. And I remember, you know, when Mr. Brown and I talked about this, you know, we said, well, you know, we're going to get a lot of pushback. I think a couple days we did. Now it's second nature. I love it. I love it. We also work with local law enforcement to eliminate the challenges that exist for responding officers. This is a big concern. This is something that we had talked about, but we hadn't implemented until we talked with Chief Braun from Santa Fe. He talked about the challenges that the DPS troopers had trying to get into the buildings and other responding officers trying to get into the building to assist them. So we've worked out strategies so that Bastrop County, the city, and DPS are able to get into our buildings in the event of an active shooter event. Then again, it goes back to once they get in, they know exactly what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We don't have to debrief. We don't have to pep rally. We don't have to talk. We just go into action. It's working out really good to this point. We're loving the fact that it's becoming second nature to us all. We also did a training for transportation on active shooter responses on school buses, and that was very positive, and it was very important, and there were really good takeaways that they had from that training as well. Currently what we're doing, there's some additional safety procedures and initiatives that we're in the process of. We're working with DPS. They actually approached us after the school safety symposium and said, hey, we're coming up with a pilot program. They said that that their director wanted them to come up with a pilot program to study the possibility of using drones in schools in the event of an active shooter event. And they wanted to use us as the campus and the district to test this program. In addition, we were also approached by them after the school safety symposium. They want to find a they wanted to find, and they have now, they wanted to find a location here in Central Texas where they could have a school and they could bring officers from this area, Central Texas, and east of 35, to a centralized location where we can actually have drills when school's not in session, even on the weekends when school's not in session, and actually go through training in an environment that you would normally be responding to. So that's something else that we were able to do here in Bastrop that helps improve, and we're able to attend those trainings as often as we want. In addition, we've developed a training program to provide self-aid, buddy aid, and tactical combat first aid response for Bastrop ISD staff. And we're actually, I actually forgot to put in there, but we're in the process of providing a training to officers, medical personnel, and staff in January. It's Stop the Bleed, and it's along those same lines of teaching them how to respond and provide medical treatment in the event of a critical incident. Conclusion. This is a quote that I found, and I really like this quote. It says, I think we have a moral obligation to our children that can be easily summarized. Number one, protect them from harm. And that was from Congressman Tom Allen. Okay, at this time, I'll entertain any questions or any comments.
Yeah, Chief, just curious, and please don't give Ms. Callahan a heart attack, and a helicopter is probably not a good answer, but, you know, besides possibly some additional personnel, what are some large expense items that you see possibly in the future? Is it cameras? Is it any type of construction that you think, just anything that you're seeing on the forecast that may be out there?
I think the biggest thing that we're looking at are increasing the number of cameras that we have and the type and the quality of cameras that we have. We have the technology right now to where we can actually monitor our cameras from our phones remotely, which is very important. And so closing those dark spots and closing those gaps at our campuses where we may consider those to be areas of concern, I think is very important. And that's something that we're currently working on with technology and with Ms. Callahan as well.
Okay, great. I know it was a big move for most of the board members here starting this police department, and also kind of how the community would perceive it, and possibly even the media, and it's you know, hats off with all the exciting things and how y'all are evolving and the training and the professionalism. I think it was a great example on the bus accident we had on 71, because I mean, just you know, the feel I got that these were our kids, and from the principals, from the campus nurses, from just just the follow-up phone calls and going to the hospital and all the other things that you've expressed when you reported that's really great to see, and you know how proactive we're being. So for the student advisory ladies and gentlemen here, any other thoughts or comments or areas that you see that we may need to look at? Or
I know they love the locked doors.
You know,
we talk about that.
Honestly, you know, it's annoying, Chief, but it's for a good, it's for a good cause. If I'm going to be really honest, you know, like this whole locked doors thing, I mean, when that whole shooting happened, you know, a while back, you know, everybody was on tense, but after seeing everything we're doing, I mean, anytime I see any officer in our school, he's always like, he just looks like, you know, he's ready for anything. And like, I feel like if it ever happened, God forbid, I think our police would respond on time. I don't really think there's anything I can tell you that needs to be done better. Just, you know, I mean, you got your stuff on point, Chief.
I mean, I think y'all are doing great. I mean, I didn't even know y'all did all those things, but that's awesome. I think the only thing is kind of something we talked about in our meeting was like more like for day to day, like there's just been a lot of like we've noticed increased activity with like, I don't know how to say it, like just dab pins and like like nicotine things and like stuff you're not supposed to have on campus. Just a lot of people like using them and stuff. We just thought that was like wow.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Y'all go ahead. No, I'm just.
So yeah, with the shifting climate that our society is taking at the moment, with everything we're seeing, school shootings, they're not as common today, but they are becoming increasingly common. I think it's a really important aspect to have so many lockdown drills to really train not only the personnel and the security officers, but also the students, really getting us ready for anything that could happen to us. And really what stood out to me is that we're doing double the amount that the state requires. And I just want to say, Chief, that I appreciate that immensely, because that is a really big step. And as far as improvement, as she was saying, day to day, we see kids with different, like, I know jewels, vape pens, different sources of substances that we should not be having in schools. However, that is a day-to-day occurrence that would be harder to crack down on, and we are looking at long-term at the moment, and I appreciate that immensely. So I would say that.
I can definitely speak to that.
No.
Yeah.
That.
You know, and I agree, and that's something that we've seen. I provided the board our department activity report, and in that report, I can just share with you a little bit about that. In September, we had 7 arrests. In October, we had 5 arrests. I mean, August, we had 7. September, we had 5. October, we had 22. And the bulk of those were from the jewels with the THC. And, you know, what we did was we took it a step further. Not only were we finding those things on students when they were reported, but we used our K-9 Officer Clear, and we also teamed with Bastrop County Sheriff's Department. And so we started going after the people that we felt like were dealing these things, people that were bringing these things, people that were transporting these things. So you see our numbers tripled in in October in the number of arrests because of that active response, and we haven't slowed down. So I wouldn't be surprised if our numbers were that much if it had been deterred, but we will stay on it because it is a concern of ours as well.
And I'm glad you all brought it up, because it's important for us to get the word out that we take this very seriously. And having public reports like this help us get the word out. You bring it to school, you're going to get arrested.
Chief, if it makes you feel any better, you know, I've heard a couple of people that were doing that, you know, their buddy got caught up, and I was just overhearing about it a couple of days ago how they're not bringing it to school anymore. So, you know, it's obviously doing something. You're obviously doing something.
And on a separate note, and you didn't cover this because it's not part of your report, but y'all aren't just in the school. A lot of people don't realize how much you help out the local community. When that thing was going down with the prisoner that was coming through our town, y'all were out there, side by side. So I appreciate what you're doing, not just in the school, but, for our town and our community as well.
And it's great to see our officers as well at the sporting events and providing security, fine arts, and different places like that. They'll be able to take advantage of that as well. And if you would, please express our gratitude to Bastrop County and the city of Bastrop and DPS and other department resources that are out there that are helping us. That really means a lot, and it's great to see y'all giving back to them, helping out also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can tell you, I'm sorry.
The campus monitors report to you.
Yes, sir.
I hear some really good things about the guys at Cedar Creek.
Yes, sir.
That they step in between things. They've taken punches, and they basically take control of the situation until somebody else arrives.
Yes, sir.
What's their background?
One of the campus monitors there was a lieutenant at the federal prison here in Bastrop. He's really top-notch. He's a former Army veteran.
Mr. Figueroa?
Yes, sir. And the other gentleman, Wayne, he graduated from Wayland College with a degree in criminal justice. He's a football player, hometown boy.
A lot of high regards to those two guys.
Yes, sir. They're great.
Awesome. Ms. Seacats?
Oh, I was just going to say, it's exciting to be able to, when school safety is utmost importance to parents in the district, and so when they come to us and talk to us about it, to be able to tell them, how proactive we are and what we're doing, and so kudos to you. I appreciate everything that you're doing and to make our school safe. Thank you.
All right. Anything else for Chief? Thank you, Chief, very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to communications and community relations report. Dr. Lee, you going to take off tonight? Nothing to add to our agenda?
Yes, I'm just going to slack off tonight.
I just said take off. All right, this time we'll move to consent agenda. Would any board member like to pull any of the consent agenda items for discussion? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, down to information items. We have the Board of Trustees calendar, which is for information only. There was also information in your packet about enrollment as well. Is there anything else that the board would like to discuss at this meeting? All right, students, thank you for coming. We really do appreciate the input. And Cabinet, thank you for all your hard work in putting this together. Is there any objections to adjourning this meeting? If there are none, meeting adjourned.